part of the reason I wanted to mark it. It's the part of the reason I got the option to do this or Robin, and I chose this one. Best seat in the house. And as we've spoken about before, bull in a china shop. And it's kind of the way that I've found myself running. So,
professional in Melbourne. He's been a touring professional for 25 years, I want to say now, and he's not been touring the last 2 years, people want to say.
Be close to that, I reckon, yeah.
Since he's been parked in Melbourne, he's obviously been training lots with KB, and John Woods Casey getting ready for all the Australian events. He's got a reasonably good record in Australia. Obviously, one lost to KB and Ballarat, but it's been very tight between the two for the past couple of years.
Strap yourselves in.
Pete, if you want to introduce Kieran, you are a long-time friend of the man himself.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. So, KB, based in Melbourne for most of his adult life, but certainly learnt the game in Hobart. Was taught the game by Alistair Curley and practiced a lot with me in his early years, and despite those two anchors, he's managed to make a career out of the game.
Indeed,
most successful amateur of his generation, I think, would be the argument.
Certainly the best amateur in the world during his
Those titles don't even fit on the screen, look at that.
Very nearly. He's got almost... Would he have the most RMTC gold racket? It's probably not.
I'd be getting close, but disappointing to see he doesn't have the Hobart Real Tennis Club Championships up there, which he's got a handful.
He's got quite a few of those, yeah. He's had a very, very good record on the Hobart court. He's not been challenged by many here. It's a tough court to play, but it suits his play style, I believe.
Oh yeah, KB's well-known lover of dodgy, inconsistent bounces. That gets his juices flowing.
Really enjoys it, but the dodgy, inconsistent bounces suit his aggressive volleying style because he doesn't really try to let much to the back ball. He showed that in his.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third quarter-final of the 2025 Australian Open. This match is the best of 5 6-game sets. The receiver's end coming from the Royal Melbourne Tennis Club is Chris Chapman. Down the service end, originally from the Hobart Real Tennis Club, now playing out of Royal Melbourne Tennis Club, Kieran Booth. Kieran to serve.
Marker for today, ladies
Play
and
well.
gentlemen, is Hobart assistant professional Jackson Pasteur.
Western 2.
The typical start for Chapman, playing big posts.
Stroke. 15 love.
KB enjoying his first bounce in the
Yeah,
corner there.
that forehand corner is going to be serving up quite a few of those. Took a bit of a ding in the previous match.
Fault.
First point of Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams versus Ben Taylor Matthews at ding it better than 2 in the forehand corner. Got taken out of the ball.
15 all.
Just on the fault call, sorry.
Bit of marking coaching there.
30-15. And the chase. 30 all. $40-30.
JB looking a bit lucky there, I think, to be leading this game. His railroad here can be devastating with its accuracy, and those really didn't put Chappie under too much pressure. A couple of unforced errors.
No, we can expect this one to go some distance, however. I'd like to see it go to 5 sets, but these two have got a very, very tight record against each other, especially here in Hobart.
I don't know about 5 sets, Sammy. I only agreed to do this on the basis that you told me it was going to be straight set smashing.
Receiver leads 40-30. Chase is worse than 2.
I can't recall those words being come out of my mouth. Lucky.
Lost the chase. Juice.
I've not got a memory for conversations though, Pete.
Advantage, receiver.
I've seen that shot from KB a million times on this court.
It's
Muscle
consistent.
memory.
Shots at him.
Juice.
Well
Time,
found.
please.
Is it safe to say, Pete, that both players are going to be reasonably comfortable in Hobart? Chappers being obviously very, very good off the back balls, and KB having grown up here.
Absolutely, Sammy.
Advantage server.
Both aggressive players too in this court. Really supports aggressive play.
Very.
Out of court. Game. 1 game to love.
Seems to be somewhat of a theme with courts that produce a lot of good junior players. Rewards good play. Seacourt
15
and
love.
Hobart being the two that pop to mind immediately.
Bolts.
When you were growing up, Pete, did you find that the learning in Hobart meant that it was a slightly easier time travelling to
Double faults.
other courts?
30 love.
Yeah, Sammy. I think if you
Time, please.
if you can play this court,
The second gallery.
it's got old inconsistent
30 love,
balls,
1 chase.
old inconsistent penthouse.
Bolts.
If you can hit targets on this court, you can hit them anywhere. You can retrieve on this court, you can retrieve anywhere.
No. Better than 1, thank you.
This court definitely rewards those that find the targets consistently and spin the ball aggressively. I think Chris Chapman is going to struggle more with his heavy boasting game than KB with his forcing, purely on the basis that the walls are playing really, really slowly at the minute.
Just repainted the court, I believe.
We have just repainted the court. The walls are gripping up
Server leads
hugely
30 love. First chase is the second gallery.
compared to older paint.
No.
It's a fantastic serve and return combination.
15-30.
Tight serve.
Better than a
return.
yard. $40-15.
Already we're seeing a bit of a rhythm in this game with KB predominantly serving railroads.
the last gallery.
Tuck from Chappie there. Unless he's defending a chase or there's already been one laid. I think that'll be the theme for the match. I reckon Chappie's probably going to serve a few more round serves to KB just to minimise that main wall dead on, which is a world-class shot of KB's, particularly on this court.
Indeed. What do you think would be the contingency if that railroad stops becoming effective for KB?
Receiver leads 40-15. Chase is the last gallery. Won the chase and the game. 1 game all.
Hobart strikes again.
The angles coming in out of the corners really very different depending on whether it strikes wall or back wall first.
The second gallery.
Good result there.
Good serve.
No strokes.
Good recovery from Kieran, and then Monsteve's way back in the rally.
$15 love.
Having had a couple of chats with both KB and Chappie over the course of this week, they know their games, they know each other's games well enough to the point where
Down, worse than 4. 2 chases.
that doesn't look good. They know their games well enough to the point where they can almost predict exactly what each other's going to do. Do you think at any point they'll try and... yeah, it didn't look particularly comfortable for KB there. Do you think they'll try and change things up for this particular match, or play to their strengths and how they'd expect each other to play?
It's a good question, Sammy. I reckon they generally both
Server leads 15 love. First chase is the
stick to
second
their
gallery.
strengths. It's been my experience.
And it's a good ball.
15 all.
Great
High
change
class
up.
rally.
Great change.
Worse than 4.
Very little work with Chappie on that return of serve and still managed to hit a very effective drive.
Well, yeah, if that railroad here isn't within 1 or 2 inches, it's surprisingly easy to get it to turn around.
30-15. Yeah. 30 all.
I think by this strategy Kieran's got about mainly serving railroads, and just as I say that, he's going for a round serve.
The commentator's
1
curse
and
has been
2.
strong so far this week.
I think if
30
we were
all,
to
1
interview
chase.
Kieran on the side of the court,
$40-30 and the chase.
very much looks to me like he is very wary of giving Chappie easy galleries.
Yep.
So that's where that railroad's coming from. Kieran's generally much happier with his quick hands and bowling ability. Quite happy to bring the pace up in the game.
Yep.
And will back his chances to
Receiver
serve
leads 40-30. Chase is 1 and 2.
serve a tight railroad and then deal with the consequences.
I lost the chase. Juice. Sorry, Kieran, stroke. Thank you. Advantage server. Game. 2-1.
Tight so far in this first set. It's a good indication of what's to come.
Love.
No applause there for that really rather fantastic volume aim dead-ons.
Okay. Faults.
Tough with those balls like that, Sammy.
Yeah, the Lawn Bowls Association.
30
Heavy
love.
cut from KB into the corner there.
That just goes
15,
those two
30.
balls there. They just go to show how effective a seriously heavy cut ball is in these kind of conditions.
Stroke.
They've got one of the best backball
40,
players in the
15.
world, really trying to cut that ball off and struggling off the back ball.
The second gallery.
It's a good option there.
Beautiful tick there. Both players just been a bit loose in this game so far.
A little bit. But I think that would favour... I think that favours KB. He's going to be more happy with putting straight pace on the ball rather than using the walls to get out of sticky situations.
Server leads 40-15. Chase is the second gallery.
Of course, Chappie's more than capable of putting pace on the ball himself.
30-40.
Change up from Chappie there.
Is that entirely intentional? I want to say so.
Last gallery.
Be interesting to see when they change ends here if Chappie continues the tactic of high backball serves.
It's not something that I would tend to want to employ against KB, especially here.
It seemed to be working though.
It's doing a well. They're
It's getting
all
a
tied
few
up. All
false
tied up on
errors.
points.
Yeah.
Fifth set. Receiver leads 40-30. Chase is the last gallery. Faults.
That's a good post
Game.
from KB.
2 games all.
We're all square at 2-all on the first. All in all, Pete, who do you think that your money's on for this match?
No, down. Bets them 1. Better than half.
I'd
thank
have
you.
to say
Sorry.
local legend KB.
Better than half.
I think if this match
Worse than the second gallery. Has it?
we're on track for each set to take about an hour.
Yeah.
And I think Kieran's pretty fit at the moment, and I'm sure Chappie's relatively fit too. He's always done a lot of effort off the court, but I don't think Chappie's got as much match play under his belt in recent times compared to Kieran.
No, certainly not with all the amateur events that Kieran's been able to play.
Yeah. Conditions on court, Sammy, would you describe them as perfect?
No strokes. First chase is better than half a yard.
Far from. I personally prefer playing in a slightly colder climate than the middle of summer.
$15 love. Hazard. Worse than the second gallery. Hazard. Bolts.
We see an almost very close to perfect flush back ball high serve to defend better than half yard. Close.
Second serve.
It's a rope-a-dope strategy, you reckon, is it?
Yeah.
$15
There'd be the reason why KB's serving railroads. Chappie's just going to unrelentingly go for those galleries. Try and spend as much match up the service end as he can. There's the other reason why.
30-15.
Good serve, good hands.
Very good hands. Yeah, the court is in overall good condition.
Better than the second gallery.
This court's never going to be perfect, but I like the way it's playing at the minute. Rewards a really attacking style of play, and we treated to some fantastic matches throughout the week.
$40-15. One chase.
What do you reckon the temperature on court is? 25? 20?
I would say it's not quite as hot as outside yet, but it'll soon surpass that. I reckon it's probably about 23 on court.
What's that, 75 in the old...
I don't know.
Yeah, why would you? You're a baby.
Yeah.
This funny scale, a small part of the world uses still.
Well, I think the rule of thumb is that 0 is really, really cold and 100 is really, really hot. And anything in between is kind of like make it up as you go along.
Receiver leads 40-15. Chase is better than the second gallery. Thank you.
Tight ground stroke there.
Game.
Rest.
3 games to 2.
Chapman flair. We don't get to see very often.
15 love.
Any more post winning gallery? That's not gone into Grill Jackson. He's input that wrong.
$30 love.
That's the other girl, mate. That's
40 love.
You suggesting Jetson couldn't see the wood for the trees there briefly?
Very potentially. Not entirely sure why we couldn't either.
Bolts.
I'm sure we'll get something from Ben soon about that. Oh, crikey Moses.
Stroke. 15-40. Game. 3 games all. Happy with that.
Bit of indecision there for KB. These serves are obviously working very effectively.
Good attempt, Chris, there for that ball on the ground. Tough skill to master.
Hobart Real Lawn Bowls Club, closely associated with the Hobart
First set.
Real Cricket Club.
Yeah, tend to be more interested in the cricket side of things.
Yeah.
Faults.
Anything that's won with using just frame, of course, very impressive.
Better than the door hazard.
Cricket for our American audience, Sammy.
No strokes.
I'm sure there's a handful. Cricket's sort of like baseball, except something happens.
Yeah,
2-3.
significantly more interesting than baseball. It can take a similarly long amount of time, especially if you go and watch a one-dayer. T20 is significantly faster than baseball, and Test is testing, to be honest. But it's a fantastic game, which
Last time we hosted the Open in Hobart, if memory serves me correct, Cam, Tin Chisholm and I, with my dad actually, went out to watch a T20 game at Bellerive Oval. Backdrop of
No
Chapman,
strokes.
Hobart,
First chase is
Harbor.
hazard. Better than the door hazard.
Lots of fun.
it's a must-do when you're in Australia.
Okay, very be interested.
15 love.
Disappointed with that one.
Uncharacteristic
Second
error
chase is
there.
2 and
Good
3.
serve, didn't capitalise.
Sorry?
What's the score, sorry?
15 love.
15, sorry.
Faults.
Jackson, of course, has been making quite a few trips to Melbourne recently to train with Chappers and John Woods Casey. He is a big fan of their players' teams.
Yeah, won the chase.
It's a great cut there.
30 love. Thank you. Out of court. 15-30.
Chap's getting really good value on that straight volley return to serve. Kieran really looking for the cross court.
It's putting a lot of eggs in the cross-court basket.
Down
Most
3
are
yards.
getting there. It's, would expect KB to pick up on that soonish. Both players doing better from the receiving end
15-30
so
and
far.
a chase.
Perhaps the serving isn't quite up to scratch.
$30. No, down. 40-30, one chase.
So interesting, Sammy. KB and I have been friends for about 30 years, I think it is. And funny thing is, in 30 years, you see a lot of growth in people. You experience a lot of their highs and lows,
Certainly.
their best times in their life and some of their worst times in terms of behaviours, shall we say. And I'm not playing this week, and I don't think Kieran's going to be commentating, so
No, he certainly is not.
he's not really going to have a right of reply if I go to town here.
Chase is 3 yards.
Not going to get much chance to have a go at you, no. Door is wide open.
Faults. Game. 4
Read it to
games to
perfection.
3.
Read it to perfection, just didn't execute. Before we get on to the less serious commentary, Pete, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about improving.
15 love. Yeah.
The way in which Jackson's been going up to Melbourne, learning from people like Chappers. Jackson, of course, being good lawn tennis player and Chap has been squash background years. How important would you say it is to learn from individuals that complement your game rather than that are more closely aligned with your game?
Bolts.
For instance, if Jackson was learning from someone who'd been playing more lawn tennis, would he have an easier time in learning some of the tougher concepts in the game?
15 all.
It's a good question, Sammy.
It's just an example, of course.
30-15.
For people that come to this game from another racket sport, particularly if they've played at a really high level.
For instance, yourself with badminton.
Bolts.
Yeah, badminton's a bit of a hindrance, I reckon, in this game, but anyway.
I don't know, it's pretty good on the doubles court. The up periscope shot that I've been trying to recreate for years is going so well for me.
Any periscope.
Worse than 5. 30-15,
Hobart
one
roll
chase. The last gallery, 2 chases.
So I think if you use lawn tennis as an example, I do think if you come to this sport from another sport, you're best off to focus on maximising the utility of the skills that you bring.
Yep.
So if you're a lawn tennis player, really focusing on being able to get as much bowling in the game as you possibly can.
Yep.
Worry about reading the ball off the walls later. Conversely, with squash, maybe try to minimise your bowling.
Yep.
And use your advantage. Squash players, really high-level squash players, can generate so good at generating.
So
pace off
leads
the back ball.
30-15. First chase is worse than 5.
Good line there by
30 all.
Ball's just been eaten up by the forehand corner.
The last gallery.
Found.
40-30.
Anyone would do.
Down. Better than 6.
Down, sorry.
Yep, I thought it was down.
Yep, your call. Your call.
I'm probably
Kieran's reaction, he's got his hand up.
probably wrong in saying this, but I think this may be Jackson's the best quality match that Jackson's ever marked.
possibly the highest stakes anyway.
What I see.
In terms of the next coming rounds, definitely.
I'm pretty sure Jackson's marked one of my games though, mate, against Ollie, so
Stakes not quite so high.
standard.
Receiver leads 40-30.
Stratospheric.
Chase is better than 6. Lost it. Fell better than last. Juice.
Or left. Very important juice. Wow. Wow. Somebody
Advantage
clip that.
server. Time, please, chappers.
Craig Greenhouse, eat your heart out.
Game. 4 games all.
It's always a great feeling dumping one into the net off an easy ball. Lose a game.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
So I'm told of.
Bolts.
It's funny, so neither have I.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Interesting. Chappie's just don't feel he's quite happy with his length on his railroad so far in this match. Watched a bit of his first round match and he said a lot of railroads.
No strokes, one chase.
Really tight.
Where do you think that
15 love and ball up, please.
the perfect length is in Hobart?
So
As a
close.
lefty, obviously, you're able to pick it slightly easier because you've got an easier time hitting that railroad in there.
Spoken like a true right hander.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, just like he planned.
15 all.
Wow. Could not have drawn that up any better.
I'd be ashamed after a shot like that.
Somebody throwing Chappie under the bus there in the crowd.
Pretty miserable.
Too cute.
30-15.
Forehand corner's never quite going to do what you expect it to do. Chappers was ready for it to cut down a bit more.
Smallest grill in the world.
Hazard first gallery. Two chases.
That little underarm, that serve you'll be going on the
30-15,
replay, that
your
serve
way.
Chappie's doing. Those longer ones, that's a great get. I notice he's doing quite a few shorter ones, sort of attacking the service line, making Kieran hit some returns off the floor. For what it's worth, I think that's a pretty good strategy against Kieran. It really minimises his ability to blast you off the court.
I quite like that strategy against anyone.
Server
to be honest,
leads
attacking that service line.
30-15. First chase is better than 3.
Means they've either got to run up and hit a slightly awkward spinning half volley or attack a rising ball.
Both players there hitting shots last
40-15.
couple of rallies that would be
Hazard
in the grill
first
and
gallery.
any other court.
Hazard.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very small, however, it does exist.
Oh,
30-40. And ball up, please.
Even when served up some pretty gnarly bounces, slot really know what to do with it when.
30-40. Server. Juice.
It's first serve, second serve.
Faults.
what do you call that serve Kieran's trying to do there, Sam?
I guess that one I would call a giraffe because he's got some kind of right to left spin on it. As opposed to the Chandelle, which has less action on it. I suppose you have a different...
Advantage. Server.
You don't have a different naming convention, do you?
As a left-hander,
Yeah.
well, one of the advantages of being left-hander is I can make up my own serves.
Brilliant. That's
3 yards.
fantastic ground strokes.
Advantage. One chase.
Expect Kieran to be thinking about the size of the grill following that rally.
Yep. Cursing the fryer. What happened here? I didn't quite see. Oh, he's just missed it with his left hand.
Advantage receiver, chase is 3 yards. Won the chase and the game. 5 games to 4 first set.
Huge game for KB.
Wow.
15 love.
Not a whole lot anyone can do about that.
No, down. Yeah. 30 love.
Big nicks already at this court, and the longer these balls stay on, the bigger they're going to get, sadly. Rewards those that cut the ball off more often than not. All red from KB.
15-30.
Read him like a book.
Better than 2. $40-15.
That down the line forehand from KB there is probably a fantastic example of him using his knowledge that Chappie knows exactly what he's going to do against him. Especially with that cutting off that winning gallery or cross-court forehand volley and putting it very close to going in main wall dead-ons.
Not bad, was it?
No, he's just trying to...
Who do you think's got the best shoe selection today, Sammy?
In this particular match, I like the...
Do you like the conservative look, or do you like the sort of fluoro?
Give us...
Receiver leads,
Kieran's not known
40-15.
for
Chase
his
is
sort of
better than
flamboyant
2.
style on the court. When
No.
it comes to shoes, that's for sure.
Personally, I would go to black.
Well,
But I encourage more and more people to enjoy a more flamboyant attire on court.
$30-40.
Great line.
Hazard the line.
It's getting interesting.
This could get very, very tight going into the... could potentially go to the 11th game.
Backing Chappie here. Fast, tight railroad. Jam KB on the ball.
If KB gets
He's
back, what's
he's-
happening? Let's have some more predictions.
If KB gets a look at it, he'll blast the living suitcase out of it. High on the back wall.
Main wall penthouse.
No, back wall.
40-30
Bring Chappie down
server.
the court.
Chases hazard the line. No, down.
Well,
Chappie
Juice.
like that point back again.
yeah. Would have preferred to serve a fault there.
Advantage receiver.
Noticed yesterday that Chapman has got a little bit of strapping tape on his right shoulder.
Roll. 3.
I know you're probably not the person to ask, but would you happen to know why that strapping tape would be there for any particular injury?
I have absolutely no idea, Sammy.
No, I've got no clue.
No.
It's probably the person to ask would probably be KB, to be honest, but
Going to Los Angeles and back.
Well, yeah, I think Chappie might know too, just quietly.
probably. We haven't got access to either of them, though. We may have
Well,
access
I think that might be something in our coverage we can look into, a sort of
on-court interview.
sashaying Sammy interviews
Yeah.
pre and post game.
Advantage server chases 3 yards. Well,
We have got access, however, around the club at somewhere to Will Chapman, son of Chris Chapman. Not entirely sure he'll know what's going on, but he's worth asking. Future footy star.
game and the first set. 6 games to 4. Second set. Lovell.
Kieran very happy to close that set out.
Great result there for KB. Find some momentum in the first point.
15 love.
First grill we've had? I want to say so.
Feels like it.
That's in.
Top bins.
15 all.
That sound you heard, ladies and gentlemen, there's a cage for cameras right in the top corner of the dead-ons. Makes a funny noise.
30-15.
Chappie's still getting good value out of that down the line return.
Great width and nailed it there.
40-30.
I'd hazard a guess and say that's probably hitting about 4 and 5 on the main wall. As we're joined in the commentary booth by...
No, down.
There's no other way to describe him.
Worse
We're joined
than
by
one.
Cameron, yeah.
40-30, one chase.
Here to
Grab some balls, please, lads.
some fantastic insights into the play of these two fantastic players. And as set 1 wraps up, I'll leave you with Pete and Camden. Take you into the next potentially 3, potentially 4 sets.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Look, it's coming up to 2:30 local time. If this game's still going at 5, could you get Cam and I a couple of slices of pizza or something, mate?
I could probably do you better than that. I could probably get you a couple of beers.
Yeah. Well, by the way, this Shag and Wagon is something. The booth. Oh my God! It's got beers in the fridge. It's got its own coffee machine. I don't think this has been talked up enough.
Right, yeah. Well, I'm going to hand the headset over. Thank you very much for having me.
Cam, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Cam, how many times have you been to Hobart?
I think this is my third time.
Just saying, a while ago, last time you were in town, we went out and watched a cricket game.
Yeah, we did. I think Hobart won as well.
Yeah.
So that was World Doubles 2019.
Right.
And the time before that was the Clothier Cup, way back when.
Wow.
So, yeah. But it's a lovely court, lovely club, lovely city. I can't say enough nice things about this place. It's definitely one of my favorites. If it was a little bit closer to home, I would probably be here more often. So.
Yeah. Say all the right things, Cam.
40-30 to the server. Chase is worse
What do
than
you
a
think of the first
yard.
set? Very back and forth. Both guys had chances. I thought Chappie might sneak it. He looked like he had a little bit of momentum, and then.
Some interesting strategic choices.
First game, second
that's
set.
just how he is. Chapman, what made him great when he was
Lovell.
on tour was his ability to play different than everybody else.
I think that comes from his squash background.
Definitely.
Better than 2.
Yeah,
No strokes.
some of the strategic choices we thought were a bit odd were Chappie's high back wall serve strategy,
15
which
love.
we thought left a little bit to be desired, but then Kieran's penthouse drive strategy also was,
I mean,
was
yes.
a bit of a tie, really.
I know. KB tends to
Fault.
enjoy that strategy. It's worked out well, though. He's had a fair amount of success with it.
15 all.
How many Clayton Cups did you play?
I think only 2.
Played one as a baby, I remember. I was there.
Got the win.
It was a dead rubber.
Better than 5.
I think I
2
scooped the
chases.
issue. I think I was due to play you, but it was a
15
dead
all.
rubber, so we decided to put... Was it Richard Allen?
No, I believe it was Al Ramsey.
No. Clothier Cup? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I was
Philadelphia.
confusing the Bathurst Cup in Aiken that you
Bathurst
played.
Cup,
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that game. Do you remember that game?
one. Which one? Bathurst?
The Clothier match against Al Ramsey in Philadelphia.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
You were
speaking
way
about
down
it.
in that game.
I was way down. That was my
15
MO
all.
back then.
Were you
so.
love 6, love 5, love 40 down in that
I
game?
think I might have been.
And you pulled the win out.
I did.
Shout out to Al Ramsey, who I think is in the side galleries, actually.
I hope he can't hear this.
15 all. First chase is better than 2 and better than 5.
I really want to see the replay, by the way, on that bounce that we just saw. KB hit a full cut volley that came out to better than 5 on the gallery wall side.
Fault.
So I'll ask Ben to replay that at some point, because that's the most Hobart bounce I think I've seen today.
Yeah. Do you like the Hobart court game?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
No, lost chase. Fell 3 and 4.
Is it how easy it is to return
Second
off the
chase is
penthouse because
better
it's so
than 5.
true, or how true the walls are?
It's quite grippy and slow, this penthouse, and very flat, which for pros means that even if the ball takes a bad bounce, it's pretty easy for us to read it. Oh, bad game.
40-15.
I think with these guys, a lot of these guys let the court get to them. Because there are some interesting bounces.
Absolutely.
But you just have to kind of play through it.
Yeah. Interesting
One
bounces.
game,
small
one
grill,
game all.
Small dead on.
Right.
Yeah. But we were saying,
Oh, first grill. To be fair, it's the size of a postage stamp.
yeah.
15 love.
Really promotes aggressive play. I think it's spectacular
Yes.
when both players are on.
Yes. It's an interesting
13 love.
matchup, this, because both of these guys can be streaky, right? So you see a lot of winners, but you can also see a fair amount of unforced errors, or that, penthouse parade that can happen.
It's great like that.
40 love.
We haven't seen a lot of grinding rallies in this match, so they're pretty short.
Well, they both finished the point very well.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising, and they play a lot,
Yeah.
So they know each other's games.
Two and 3.
Present
40 love,
company
one
excluded,
chase.
some of the best tennis I've ever seen live was Rob and Tim, both at the top of their game, playing on this court.
Oh, I never saw them play here. I would have loved to.
It was
have seen
amazing.
that. Oh, that would have been. This court for those boys in their primes would have been. They would have been monsters. I was joking with Rob that it's no wonder he's so good at hitting the date on, because he grew up trying to hit this one, and if you can hit this one, then you can hit any of them.
Look, I said it probably twice already today in commentary. If you can play tennis effectively on this court, any other court you go to, the game feels that little bit easier.
Yes. Yes.
Server leads, 40
Except for
love.
my
Chase
Paris.
is 2 and 3.
It's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Two, three. Oh, wow. Ooh, almost got it.
15, 40.
So
Two
Chris's
games to
plan
one.
has always been to
Second
create
set.
chaos, right? And
Lots
deal
of boasts and
deal with the chaos better.
Yep.
And I think especially against Kieran, because I think Kieran plays in the traditional lines of court tennis very well.
Yep.
Great shot there.
15
so I
love.
think just having watched the bit of this match there, it seems Chris is just basically trying to say, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me from awkward scenarios, rather than the bulk standard.
Lots of round serves, lots of trying to get Kieran off balance as he was returning rather than just trying to do a tight railroad and deal with it, whereas Kieran's much more wanting to serve a railroad, let him have a
15-all.
ping, get in a volley exchange.
Yep, exactly. So now we'll see if Chris got a slight lead here.
One of the things I think
30-15.
Chappie's got that beautiful undercut that he hits.
Second serve.
But the variable bounce here, the dead walls, the nick is just huge. And that roll drive is just gets so much value. He doesn't really have that in his game, which I think.
Great pickup.
Worse
No,
than
you're
one.
right. The problem is if you cut a ball, so for everybody watching at home,
30-15,
if you
one
cut a
chase.
ball into the nick, it's going to inherently come down, and then
Keep
it's
up.
going to pop.
Yeah.
So it's not going to roll out. Whereas if you top spin that ball, it's going to hit that back wall just
Try to
above the
go
neck,
up.
and it's going to rise a little bit, and it's just going to roll.
And you mix that
40-15,
with old stone,
one chase.
a bit of variability in how the ball's coming off the stone anyway.
Yep. Was this the one? So yeah, I do agree. I think that it's something he doesn't have, but he's never been one to go for the nick either. So I don't think he's necessarily fussed because he's not trying that shot very often.
No.
It would have been something I think if he really
Get some
wanted to
cheap points.
if he
for
wanted
cheap
to give a go, you know, at being world champion. I think it's something he was going to need to add.
Yeah.
But
When we say he doesn't have it in his game, I'm sure if he tried it,
He could
most
do it,
punters
yes.
would think he did it pretty well.
I think
Yeah.
it wouldn't take him long.
No.
So
But that comes from squash. There's no real roll in a squash shot, is there?
not the same way.
Receiver
Not the
lead.
same way.
Receiver leads 40-15. Chase is worse than a yard. Nope.
Controversial call. Kieran looks a bit disappointed with that.
Where we're sitting, I wouldn't have been able to call that either way. So I'm gonna.
Diplomatic. I think Jackson totally cocked that up.
Worse than a yard.
I couldn't see.
Never disagree with the marker unless they're obviously.
Unless you're not playing in a tournament, then it doesn't matter.
Lost the chase. 30-40.
Both guys look a little heavy-footed here. I know
Yeah.
we're what, an hour in, let's say.
Yeah.
Both. It's hot out there today, and I'm feeling like they're both kind of breathing a bit heavy and trying to
Play within themselves a bit.
well,
maybe.
just regain composure.
No, not up. Better than 2.
What is it in Fahrenheit? Do you reckon 75, 80?
Yeah, 75, 80. It's not too bad, but it's still quite hot. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
he might have been right.
He might have been right, yeah.
Wow. Chavi, I always make it my objective to block that ball from the marker.
Yeah.
A little secret for you guys at home.
Yeah.
That way you can just always call it a fault yourself, just in case. They annoyingly are very good at seeing in between your legs, though. So
Couldn't you just come in and smack that living suitcase out of it?
on a
So
better
leads
than,
40-30,
I think Chase was worse than one or
better
something
than
on that
two.
one.
Oh,
but
okay,
tough.
probably take the fault.
Not all of us have your athleticism, all right? Go better than 2. It's a big point.
Game. 3 games to 1.
Bit of a break here.
I have to say, one of my favorite things about Kieran is
15
that
love.
the guy gives 100% to every point and every shot.
Yeah.
There is no 50% swings. And
15
when he's
all.
on with it, and he's just full swinging on these cut volleys and date-ons, and you're just like,
Can't serve
wow.
it. You feel like can't serve a thing to it.
Exactly.
No. Better than 4. 1 chase.
I mean, what he's done as an amateur has just been remarkable.
Incredible.
Yeah.
In this era.
Yeah.
You know, with the depth we've had at the top in the pro game to accomplish what he has is really remarkable. Oh, that's a great finish.
30-15. Better than 4.
Interestingly, KB obviously comes from a lawn tennis background too.
More than a yard
We
worse.
talk about
2 chases.
Chappie doing that undercut. KB doesn't actually roll for the nick too much either. He tends to go for a winning opening. His
Yes.
shot on those balls.
But he does roll it. So like his main wall,
Yeah.
for example, he rolls around it.
Yeah.
But he's
More
not,
around than over those.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he's not going for the nick. He's going for the date on.
And he's not trying to get too much of a dip
No,
on
he's
his.
trying to get that pop off the side.
Yeah.
But it's like with most of these guys, and to be honest, KB he's as an amateur has treated the game more professional than many of the pros over the years, and it showed. That's why he's been able to. But it's been at a very hefty price for him over the years. You know, we appreciate that he kept it up for as long as he did. You know, he was spending a ton getting to and from events all the while
Probably
working.
have to work till he's 95.
Yeah. So we appreciate him prolonging his retirement.
Server
to,
leads
play the
30-15.
game.
First chase is better than 4. (40-15). Second chase more than a yard worse than the last.
I just feel like KB really needs to get this game in the bank.
Yeah, Chappie's not. I don't think he's not gonna be good as the match goes on.
No.
The longer this goes on, the
Rather
better
than
for
tickets.
Kieran.
Yeah.
2 games to 3.
Kieran's doing a very
love.
I was going to say traditional, but very much trying to serve railroads until there's a chase.
Yep.
Only really serving round serves when he's defending a chase or there's already one laid. Clearly
15 all.
strategically wanting to
Time, please,
maximise
Kieran.
his time at the service end.
Yep. I think he also is trying to play a couple specific lines, like rally formation lines. You know, he's trying to open up his forehand volley. He's trying to get Chapman to play into that zone because he feels that's a strength.
15
for
all.
him.
Chappie's had a lot of success in that boast
30,
and the straight
15.
and the down the line volley too.
That boast on this court is vicious with how
Yeah.
grippy the walls are.
Yeah.
If you don't cut it off, it's
behind
death.
you in. Yeah.
Hazard, better than a yard.
At least for righties. For us lefties, it's a cakewalk. You know.
Well, the whole game's a playbook, mate. Surprised they're allowed us to play.
Yeah, it's a good finish there.
30 all. Time,
There's
please.
been many length balls hit under the grill actually around that tan, but most of it's been at pace from both players.
Good change up then. Big point this.
Rode that one all the way.
31
Yeah.
chase.
What do you think about Tamba?
I think this is pretty normal. It's quite slow.
Yeah.
It's
You like how it fans open as it goes up?
I haven't noticed. I'm probably I think I'm very bad at noticing these things. I just kind of play the ball as it comes.
So I'll be playing better players, mate. They don't hit it high on the temperature.
Maybe. What I do know is that I have never, every ball I've hit that's ended up in the grill, I've never been sure it was going to go in until it actually hit, because it's so small. And I think we saw that with Kieran there. He hit that ball, and until it actually went in, he was very unsure.
You contrast that with
receiver leads 40-30,
chases
chases Hazard better than a yard.
Exactly.
Hazard.
All right, big point.
Receiver's point. And the game, 3 games old.
That's a cruel way for Chappie to lose that game. Read the ball well.
Tied.
Kieran's probably got a bit of a
15 love.
In the first set, he ran in under the winning gallery, hit the ball quite heavily.
I told you, 100% commitment. Every shot, every point.
Used to have the nightclubs back in the day.
Worse than the door.
100% commitment every song.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I was young, but I remember.
Yeah. Interesting point. Both players going to be disappointed, you'd think, with that.
Yep.
Chappie with the serve, Kieran with the penthouse drive.
Yes.
30 love, 1 chase.
I'd also say very on-brand point.
I think that
40 love.
you call that just a sideball underarm twist thing that Chappie's. I think that serves a useful serve for him against Kieran on this court.
I think so. I think if you're Chapman, you're basically trying to limit the court, right? Like Kieran's going to be offensive no matter what. But I think if you're Chris, you're basically trying to say, I want him to hit it to, say, my forehand. So it's not so much about, it's just making it so obvious that it's a cut volleyball that it's like they just won't do anything else.
Yeah.
It also gives him time to get across, get to the middle without having to, like the problem with the railroad is that if you pump in a good railroad and they take it on the volley, you've got to be on your horse getting across it, because you don't have a lot of time. So you can hit a solid railroad and still be way behind in the rally, especially when you got KB full swing.
Receiver leads 40 love. Chase is
Neat
worse
trick when
than
you get
the
old and
door.
slow cam, you do your railroad closer to the centre of the court.
Or just hit it slower.
Well,
Slow railroad from the centre.
Yeah.
Have a shave between serving and having to get the next ball.
Yeah, that's a good cut volley.
game. 4 games to 3.
Good. That was a big game there. Breaking Kieran's momentum a little bit.
$15 love.
Oh, that's a great serve.
30 love. And
Kieran gets
Kieran.
a lot of work on that ball.
Oh, yeah.
And I note you said the pros don't have too much trouble reading that penthouse, but that heavy cut.
That one, if you can just clip that side wall so it's running down, it can really be trouble.
Heavy cut.
40
couple
love.
of inches on that side wall, 1 maybe 2 bounces.
That's the thing. You actually
and
have
then
to
cut off the back wall.
You actually have to slow it down because if you hit it too hard, it's too clearly 1 bounce.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting serve, this one.
Better than 2.
That's a good cut volley.
40 love, 1 chase.
Dominance from the service end at the moment, both guys. Which is, I mean, it's kind of how we expect court tennis to be.
Famous faces there in the crowd. Including one Al Ramsey.
Is that the man himself
Yeah,
that
the
we were
man
just speaking
himself.
of?
Australia's tax officer celebrity Al Ramsey.
I think we should get to the point where we have, you know, you go to the Australian Open and they have the things that you get when you go in to put on your ear and you can hear the commentators.
Yeah.
That would be quite fun.
We know he's not listening to us because he's not sending any routines.
Exactly.
Receiver leads 40 love. Chase is better than 2.
What serve are you doing here if you're Chapman?
I'd rip if it was me. But
hope for the penthouse drive.
If I'm Chapman, I think I would hit a full pound here.
$15,
You know,
40.
hey, I don't know everything. I don't pretend to have all the answers.
What was that serve, Cam?
What was that?
Yeah.
I guess that's just a high drop, isn't it? Or
maybe a drop.
Sure. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Fault.
Need to get a historian to figure that out.
Sammy was asking me earlier what the names of the left-handed serves are, and I said I get to call them what I like.
Exactly.
Just get you to agree.
Did that go in the winning gallery?
I think it did.
Oh my goodness.
Chapman totally meant it.
I did.
30,
He did mean
40.
it. For everyone at home, that was on purpose. He did hold that and actually
30, 40.
Yeah, good leave. He got away
More
with
than
it.
a yard worse than
As soon as
last.
that serve came off the racket, he'd overhit it.
Yep.
Oh, was this we get a replay of it?
There we go.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very impressive. So, it's great to see both these guys out here. We miss them on the tour. You know, it's been a rough return from
Server leads
from
40,
COVID.
30.
You know,
Chase is more
people
than a
aren't playing
yard
as
worse
much.
than the last.
Life has changed, and so it's nice to see these guys back out on court. Burst again.
Juice.
Oh, and I'll take the opportunity to thank you, Cam, for making the way out here, supporting the Australian Open, particularly in Hobart's sesquicentenary.
I'm not saying that word. I'm
Oh,
going to call it 150th.
Yeah.
So big battle back here. He's gotten back to deuce.
Yeah.
4-3. See, that's the one where
Advantage
I just feel like KB's a little
receiver.
slow off the mark on that, and I just wouldn't expect that. That might be the heat.
Maybe I just
Juice.
up with him. What do you reckon?
I don't know what that means. Here we are back to deuce.
Advantage server.
That's a
last
great pickup
gallery.
by Kieran there.
Certainly, if you're Kieran and you're getting a lot of balls, not stretching you too far on your forehand, hitting it off waist height, you're pretty happy.
Yes.
That's the return coming to you.
Yes, that
That is a great retrieve.
That is his definite game plan and goal. And you got to think that you're going to win majority of the points that happen there, and you're just trying to say like, oh, I want to win over 50% of the rest, right? You're not going to win them all because they're not in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But
Advantage
if you can,
receiver
if you can win
chases
50%
the
or more
last
of the other
gallery.
ones, then you're pretty solidly going to win a match.
And getting the ball heading down towards the grilled timber region.
That's tough.
Game, 4 games all.
Rally feel Chappie pushing there. He wanted that point. He didn't want to give that
Really
game
swing
up.
harder.
Thank you. 1 and 2.
Easier said than done, but really you leave a ball to the back wall here at your peril.
Yeah.
15 love.
Who do you think the best movers in the modern game are? You're not allowed to say yourself, we'll just assume that.
Let me think on it.
Not good news.
Oh, wow.
15-all.
I think if I'm Chapman here, I'm first of all, I'll enter that at the side change, but I think I'm getting away from the railroad if I'm Chapman here. I don't think
Hasn't been paying off for him a whole
no,
match.
it's too much in Kieran's comfort zone.
Yeah.
Best movers.
And 1 yard, 2 chases.
I think Steve Vergona in his prime. It wasn't necessarily that his footwork was phenomenal or anything like that, but he was just so quick cutting the ball off.
Anticipation, or do you reckon he was just
both.
leg work too?
Both his longer arms and he was just so aggressive cutting the ball off.
Yep.
So he's got to be up there. I think Tim Chisholm's actually in his prime was a very good, very smooth mover. He and Nick Wood were very much like the guys.
Deceptively quick.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Like Kieran
flow.
Kieran was fast. He is fast, but he's all arms and legs pumping away, and it looks.
Yes.
He looks like he's quick.
Yes. I think John Lumley's very fast nowadays.
Yep.
Very quick.
15-all. First chase is 1 and 2.
He's trying to get the good footwork, but I think he's a lot like me, where it's like it doesn't look effortless. That's for sure.
Being a bit harsher on yourself.
All right, 1 and 2. 2 good chases here for KB. Oh! He's not going to get done again. Oh, he's been done again. Oh.
Felt better than 2.
30-15.
Oh, he's had a couple of those so far today.
Second chase is 1 yard.
Walking under a ladder.
Can feel pretty hard up by now. No, I lost it. Fell better than 2. 40-15.
Tough.
I know that feeling.
Tough to regroup
Screwed,
right here.
Second gallery.
Got away with it. I think Chapman's kind of the same. He flows around, right? Like he's never doesn't have quick feet or anything like that. And I think when he's reading the ball well, it worked out he was playing very well. But I think in courts where you have to make quick adjustments, he always struggled on because he has those big squash strides.
Yeah.
Whereas you see a lot of the tennis players tend to have the quicker feet, a bit more like KB's movement, like able to make little adjustments quickly. And I think in court tennis, you have to be able to do that. You can't, as soon as you plant your feet, it's over.
The squash players definitely have that ability to just...
Receiver leads
Bridge balls that you didn't
14-15.
think you were
Chase
gonna get
is
to.
the
Yes.
second gallery.
All right, let's see if Chappie can regroup here. Or he's got to go with the railroad. Kieran's going to feel confident on this point.
That was a very, very good ball.
That's well played by both of them.
Yeah.
30-40. Deuce.
That was one of those ones. I think both guys knew exactly what was about to happen. It was just a question of who was going to pull it off.
Yeah.
Deep. Oh, why, Chris?
Advantage receiver.
It's one of those games. There's been some outstanding rallies and shots, and both players, I think, would be feeling.
And 2 yards.
Both players, I think, would be feeling the
Advantage,
games on
one
their
chase.
record on some level, in that they've both got
They both had chances.
things they can tighten up on too.
Yeah. It's always the way. I mean, there's never a perfect game of real tennis. The game's just too hard for that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just being able to regroup, find an answer, you know, in a bad situation, type of thing. But I mean, if you're right here, I think it feels like Chappie's kind of had his chances, but he's also holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas KB's being a bit steadier. He's going to spray some. He's going to miss some, but he seems to have a more solid plan in place. And Chris is trying to just take advantage, make sure when he doesn't execute, he still wins a couple.
Advantage server.
So hard to play this
Chases
game when
2
you don't have a lot of
yards.
match play under your belt.
It's so tough. Just 2. Get with the pound. Oh, wow.
Hobart.
On the chase, better than 2.
Vicious. Vicious.
Juice.
I think that could have been chase 5, and it wouldn't have surprised me either. So
Would have surprised me on this court. What do you reckon the heaviest cut courts in the world are?
Lords, New York.
I feel like Melbourne takes a fair bit of cut, but it's a slow cut.
Advantage
so
server.
Ball does
It's
grip,
different.
but
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not severe cut necessarily.
Fault.
Like I wouldn't call it here necessarily like that severe. It's situationally severe.
yeah.
Oh,
Game. 5 games to 4.
a bit of frustration from Chappie there. He knew he had chances in both those points.
Yep. 15 love.
First set, that Boast was getting in behind Kieran, really stretching him. He was having to either come forward to get it sort of last gallery on the wall, or it was getting behind him. But something that he's hitting on his forehand off his toes, he's pretty happy with that.
Yes. Yeah.
30 love.
He's desperate for a gallery. He knows he needs to get away. Yeah. He's got a good deep return there on that Boast, but that second ball, for him is not as tight as he wants it to be.
Has it the line. 30 love, 1 chase. Worse than 5, 2 chases.
Much better line, I think.
Yeah, that everybody's hitting that sidewall railroad that goes penthouse, sidewall, penthouse, and they're basically trying to hit the nick. Because if you do, it absolutely rolls.
Yeah.
But if you don't, these guys will read it very, very well. But they're pitching it very close. Like I've seen a bunch of guys leaving them where I'm like, oh, that seems like it's gonna roll out. But maybe they see it better than I do. So I think
as a lefty, mate, when you spin on that, if somebody isn't serving that particularly well, it's a joy to return
yes,
that.
Yes, that's for sure.
You've got the whole court.
Yes.
Yeah.
But good fight here. Hazard lines. This is a big point. I mean,
Receiver leads 30 love. First chase is Hazard the line.
But he's going to have to here.
Yeah, he's not really limiting the damage.
And if you're Kieran, you're basically giving yourself the green light to.
Heaps quite often will just smash it high in the back.
I hate that shot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. 40 love.
Tough.
Worse than 5.
3 set points.
in the second set. 6 games to 4.
Kieran's pretty focused.
That he is.
Third set. Love all.
These guys in your half of the draw, Ken?
No, this is the bottom.
15 love and ball up, Chappers. Love.
The old post-set drop-off coming into play. Very common in these games, right? You work so hard to grab that set, and then you take a breath.
Fault.
Such a difference in this sport compared to lawn tennis, where you get to sit down and collect your thoughts.
Yep.
You know,
Continuous
throwing
play.
everything at it, then 12 seconds later you're into the next.
Continuous play. It's one of my favorite parts. Great defense.
Love.
Remember Snowy playing World Championship matches here, just chastising himself every time he tried to hit the grill.
Okay.
Just don't try.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like one of those. It's great if it goes in and you get a few of them, but you can't really make it intentional all the time.
Fault.
You do get the bottom 2 bricks under it are brutal.
Yes.
So if you miss terribly low, then you actually get, it's a very effective shot.
Yeah.
15,
For us lefties,
40.
it's very common, right? Driving cross court from our forehand corner under the grill.
Yeah.
So it suits us a little bit for sure.
Fault.
Contrast that
And time,
a miss
please.
under the grill here, normally we'd be able to step in and lace that one, but frequently we're actually still on our bike just trying to get some back.
Yes. I'd love to see Chappie hit a bobble every now and again.
30, 40.
Because Kieran's got such a good cut volley and good cut shot, and he's got to move back quickly to cover the cover movement off of the demi. And I feel like the bobble would tie Kieran up equally as much, if not more, but give Chris time to get into position for the return. Here we go. Test my theory. Test my theory.
Stroke.
Tough.
Juice.
A little bit less lateral pace as well, so
Yep.
Kieran's got to make more of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I personally like that. I think it makes the odds of a looser return higher. That's a good finish. Good finish.
Advantage server.
Oh.
Juice.
Legs feeling like he's got leg weights at the moment at this point.
It's
A
tough.
couple of sets down.
Tough on this court.
Yeah.
This court, if you can't move, take that extra step, dude. There's gonna be so many misreads.
Advantage server.
Chappie doing might be conserving energy, but a pretty common tactic in Hobart is just conceding the main wall dead on.
Yep.
Saying if you
Assuming
can
it's
hit it,
not
good
gonna
luck.
go in. Yep. That's better finish there.
Game.
That's
One
just a
game
tactic you
below.
can't
Third
use in a
set.
lot of courts because it's too, but
Yep. Oh God, yeah. I mean, I feel like people don't cover it against me for sure, especially on the our backhands, right?
Yeah.
It's a tiny little opening here.
No, down. Worse than 1.
I can't remember. Do you come over your backhand when you're doing a main wall?
Over and around.
Yeah.
Fault. 15 love. And half a
Kieran
yard
gets that.
worse than 6.
That's shoulder height. Sort of, he's still doing it like a cut volley, but because he's taking it so high, he actually just hits it quite flat, so he gets really consistent into the dead on because he's not hitting up.
Yep, that's very true. We've got some good stats in here. Very, very close, right? There's only 5 points difference. Kieran's just being a little bit more dominant from the service end.
Yep.
And that, I mean, it makes sense. A 6-4 set, right? That would seem about right. But I think on this court, especially, I think if you're getting over 60% serves won, you're winning the match. Because as long as you're at that end a fair amount, that the points served and served won are going to be the big key factors for most of these matches. What do you think of the next one after this? We got Ollie Pridmore and Rob Fay. You think the young buck can trouble him?
Server leads, 15 love. First chase is worse than a yard.
I must admit, I haven't seen Rob on the court for a while.
Fault and ball up, KB.
But you'd have to back the chimp, ex-chimp. But circling back to our speed on the court, having played Ollie recently.
Oh, he's so fast. He's very fast.
And then he's got that squash step at the last one.
Yep. Plays for the flush.
No, fell better than 2. 30 love, half a yard worse than 6.
We played a club championship final a few months ago, which was filled with.
Yeah, that's a good ball.
15, 30.
Incredible court coverage, brilliant hands, hitting targets left, right, and centre.
So what did you do?
Yeah, nothing.
That's better.
Worse than 1.
I think for both these guys, the game plan's pretty simple. Control length and line instead of going
30-50
for
away.
openings, because neither of them
30-15,
is covering
one chase.
deep into the corners tremendously well right now. And the opening's there. It's just moving your feet and hitting it.
Stroke.
Just
In that
30
sense,
all.
it really feels like both players are sort of playing themselves in the sense of they're trying to. I don't see a lot of dramatic shifts in the tactics. It's really.
Nope.
And I've been in that space where you feel like you're not quite. You don't know if your tactics aren't working because you're not quite executing in a space you're super happy with.
yes.
Forty, 30,
Yes,
one chase.
that's three cut shots into the corner in a row that have won Chappie points. And I know he set it up with a good down the line force there, but you know, if you're asking me if I'm going to take on Kieran's volley or his retrieving, I'm going to take on his retrieving, right? His volley's so solid.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely with Kieran trying to mix up with the floor strokes, some ultra slow as well, heavy cut, bit spear a few in, just get that.
Oh yeah,
change your pace,
change your spins, change your pace, change your lines. Just keep him a little bit off guard.
Or you could just try and smack the crap out of it.
Server leads, 40-30, chase is worse than a yard.
I definitely don't have that. Worse than a yard. Big point here. Try to get the early break.
Fault.
Come on, hit the bobble. Love to see the bobble right here. So
Game.
tough.
2 games to love.
Seems like a stupid serve, but it's so tough, especially on like that worse than a yard here, to try and get that on target.
15 love.
Again, you said, we read it really easily here as the pros. Having played him my whole life, I still go,
But reading it easily versus having to hit a date on it is different.
Yeah. Getting it back so everything's hard.
Yeah.
Out of court.
Getting it back to
15
be
all.
worse than a yard against a world-class player is a different thing.
Exactly.
And when I'm talking about these guys not being quite on top of their game, that's as much to do with the quality of their opponent and the balls they're being given.
Oh, of course.
30-15.
Horrible feeling that ball just sucks on the rail there.
Mm-hmm.
You go from feeling like what winner are you going to hit to sinking feeling.
Worse than 5.
That was worse than
Welcome
1
to
5
Hobart.
minutes ago.
I know.
Worse than 5. 30-15 receiver, 1 chase.
It's a heck of a pickup from Kieran.
30 all.
Just looking at the personalities of the players on the court, Chappie's pretty reserved, in my experience.
Yeah.
Not too demonstrative.
He's never very negative, but he gets very pumped up. Yeah, that's a good finish.
40-30 in the chase.
Yes, I mean they're both Australian, so there's gonna be
charm, sophistication, subtlety.
Yeah, all those things.
Swearing.
So there's always a lot of heart with the Australians, right? They're very, very intense, love to win, love to compete. And so it's kind of, you always just know that going out there. I feel like the English are kind of the opposite, very negative on themselves.
Who's the biggest self-loather in tennis?
Ooh, I don't
Server
know if I can
leads
say. I don't wanna get in
40-30.
trouble.
Chase is worse than 5.
All right,
Game,
an easy
1 game to
Who's
2.
the happiest player on court?
Happiest. God. That's probably harder to figure out.
Less controversial, though.
Yes.
Fault.
Won't get you off anybody's Christmas card.
Half a yard worse than last. $15 love.
Really noticed the difference in their techniques there. Kieran's coming up and it's a very slight roll on that forehand. Whereas Chappie tends to
coming down on it more. Yep.
What do you think about that when the ball's coming at pace?
I think both work as long as you time it perfectly.
Yeah.
Right.
15 love, 1 chase.
There's kind of counteracting results if you're early or late for both of them. It's good drive.
You tend to be
15 all.
dead flat, don't you?
Pretty flat on mine. I think, if anything, I'm a little bit closed.
Yeah.
30-15.
There are not rules on dropping rackets in Australia. I know you instantly lose the point if your racket leaves your hand in the rally.
Yes, half a yard worse than last.
But I didn't know if there was in terms of like getting a warning for like Kieran drops his racket there out of frustration.
Yeah, well, interesting you say that. There's a bit of a Hobart tradition that I have a little bit to do with about that. It involves
40-15. 1 chase.
My dear friend Jed.
Yours. Yeah.
back when we were young men, and we'd be practicing, and he'd occasionally get a bit shitty about me being arsey and getting the ball back and drop his racket. So then I started dropping my racket, and now happy to see the young sprayers down here. As soon as one of us drops our racket, now the whole court doubles.
Yes.
It's a good side.
Yeah.
Very happy for that to spread internationally.
That's nice.
It's very hard for Jared to sulk too much if I'm sitting there with my hands on my hip, racket on the ground.
To go back to you asked who the happiest player is in court tennis. The honest answer is I don't know. It's probably a depressing answer, but it's definitely not one of the pros. I think part of the problem with being a pro and trying so hard to get good at this game is that comes with crippling anxiety.
So the
and
lead's
worry,
40-15.
right? We're never doing it
Chase
as
is
well
half
as
a
we want
yard
to be.
worse than the
So
last
it's very hard
gallery.
to be in a good mood. But there are many pros out there that enjoy it a heck of a lot more than others, which is nice. That's tough.
30-40.
Again, another tight start to this set.
Juice.
Pretty good serve to get pumped.
Yep.
Worse
And
than
then follow
two.
up with a cut volley roll.
Juice, one chase.
Got away with it there. Don't feel like Chris is getting much penetration on his
Advantage,
backhand
one
volley.
chase.
No,
He's very much ripping it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of spin, but he's not getting it through the court tremendously.
No. He's had quite a lot of that particular serve, getting Kieran moving backwards on a floor, and then Chris is coming forward, really trying to rip it, but sort of ends up taking a bit of pace off through the huge amount of cut he's putting on it.
Yes, yeah.
Sort of a bit counterproductive.
It is. It does
Here
seem
we
that
go.
way.
Advantage receiver. Chase is worse than two.
You sort of think they'd be probably
I think he's at about 15 bandos now.
Juice.
that same backhand shot just aimed at the base of the timber.
Yep.
Not trying to fizz it,
Yep.
cut it, just
Yep.
get it going down.
Get it in there.
Juice. Advantage server.
That nice last bounce on the hell road Kieran's got there. Just
Sorry, mate, did you get that? No, I don't. Worse than two.
it's got a lot of value on the down the line, but that
Yeah.
second last serve from Kieran, you could see Chris really thinking about the volley and then
Yes.
having to adjust. So even though the serve wasn't brutal, because he wasn't thinking he was hitting a floor or a drive till the last moment.
Yes. Boys learning about the Rob Fay Datons, the history.
Advantage receiver. Chase is worse than two. Won the chase. And the game. 2 games old.
Good game from Kieran there. He's not letting Chappie kind of get too big of a lead. He's always keeping him within a game or so.
Like that.
15 love.
took Chappie to win that point.
Yep. Wow. It's a good rally. Great defense there from Kieran, trying to battle his way back.
Love.
So that serve he's doing is bringing Kieran a bit into the centre of the court, which some people might think gives him,
Fault.
you know, the whole court to play at. But I suspect from Chappie's perspective, it really means Kieran's going over a higher part of the net to get into his forehand corner.
Yep. It's also pinning him at the back with a bit less momentum.
Yep.
So makes the force more likely to miss. You know, he's got to get it some play off it himself.
15-40.
Oh, wow. Get in. Go.
And I'll buy a group.
Yeah.
30-40.
Great rally.
How do you talk yourself out of this game when you're in that? See the frustration there.
Yep.
You're in that. Just feel like you know shots are working pretty well.
30,
They're
40.
just missing. You know, sometimes it's better to miss by 2 metres.
Yeah.
Because you just go
Yeah,
terrible
exactly.
shot. But when you think, no, I hit that pretty well, and a rally like that where he hit 3 very nice shots at the grill.
Yep. It's tough.
That's better
Is the
than
answer
2.
to Julian's no,
30-40,
just
one
don't go
chase.
for the grill.
Yeah, I do think, you know, part of it can be
Yes.
saying, making that adjustment, saying, hey, like, maybe I'm going to go for the nick next time on that, right? Or, you know, just battling through and saying, like, you'll get it, right? Like, it's going to go in eventually. You're good enough to hit it. But it's tough, right? Like, this game, it's the most humbling game because you can do everything right and then things still aren't working, right? The ball's not perfectly round. The court has weird bounces.
Yeah.
You have a guy on the other end whose goal in life is to stop you from doing what you want to do. So it's you know, you're fighting a lot of battles out there, and you're not going to win all of them. And so I think it's kind of accepting that, you know.
So that's what you
Receiver
do
leads
eventually, just try
40-30.
to switch
Chase
it
is
out.
better than
Yeah.
2
You
yards.
got to embrace the chaos, you know.
Juice.
Brave leave. Sort of think if Chappie gets 5 or 10 minutes of these balls that he's just missing, he could get a bit of momentum here.
Pick up. I'd say the problem is
Better than
that,
6.
that's a great
Juice,
shot, but I
one
think the problem
chase.
is he's running out of time.
Yeah.
Right? And I think KV knows that as well, right? You're seeing KV just be a brick wall right
Yeah,
now.
very happy just to defend.
Yep.
Yeah.
And say, you know, you're going to have to find that range to win. You're going to have to find the openings.
Advantage. And the chase. Grab the balls, please, lads.
But I really do. I think court tennis is chaos, right? In a nutshell. And what I love the chaos.
Yeah.
Right? I create chaos when I'm out there, right? I don't play traditional, and I think people too often fall into the traditional style of play in the game. And I get it, we teach that, right? Like when you're coming into the game, we teach you the basics of where you aim, all these things. And the pro level is an accelerated version of that, but it's just more fun to wreak havoc out there and have the ball end up in areas of the court it's never been in before, or people having to read things perfectly. I want you to have to be thinking all the time, and it's not just, oh, I'm in my comfort zone. My favorite part of court tennis and playing court tennis is being outside of it and finding a way to overcome from that. And the people that do that better can adapt, and they're the ones that are going to do well in the future.
Yeah. I certainly think
Advantage receiver. Chase is better than 6.
the ability to disguise your shots, have 2 or 3 options on balls.
Which is something Chappie does very well too.
Time please.
I think Kieran doesn't hold very well, right? Like, it's pretty obvious what he's going for. You just have to deal with it.
His strategy is, I'm going to hit a really good
Yes,
ball.
exactly.
And
Whereas,
you know it's coming, and it's still tough because it's a good ball.
exactly. Whereas Chappie likes to hold more of that squash mentality.
Yeah. An example of that is Chappie mixing up
Stroke.
cross-court.
Advantage
down the line.
receiver.
I don't recall Kieran hitting a down-the-line volley.
Yep.
He's getting a lot of, at the same time, he's getting a lot of value out of his
Exactly.
cross-court, so...
Exactly. Well, I'll call it the like Rob Fay mentality, because it's basically like, I'm just going to do this really well.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Better than the last gallery.
And I do think the game is kind of cyclical, and I think people follow what the best players are doing, right? So I think we saw, close to 20 years, this whole generation and a half, 2 generations of people that have modeled their game after Rob, right?
Tight railroad,
and so you
heavy
have
cross-court.
Exactly. So you have these very set patterns.
On.
You have these very set patterns and rallies, and they're and a lot of guys are very good in those situations. But if you pull them out of that, they don't know what to do. Whereas I think I'm hopeful that I can create a generation of players that just
better than the last gallery.
The weirdest gameplay of all time. I think it'd be more fun.
Yeah.
That's a good ball.
Juice.
The funny thing about, I think, right about people modelling their game on Rob, but the thing was, he was better than everybody at that game.
Exactly. They always will be.
Advantage receiver.
Come on, boys. Who wants it? Game's up for the taking. That's a good serve, that one.
Juice.
That's a serve you haven't really seen Chappie be able to get.
No.
A lot of those, his serves, Kieran's been getting sort of at knee height, really attacking.
Kieran's serves are kind of built for these flatter penthouses.
Yeah.
The way he hits it, a little bit more top spin.
Yeah.
Advantage server.
Knows he got away with one there.
Game, 3
Such a
games to
useful thing for
2.
this court. And relatively risk-free too.
It is.
Not a lot can go wrong, and
No.
you get a good value for it.
You do. It's going to be very tough for someone to chip a gallery off that ball because they're so small.
$15 love.
All right, Kieran's got the break now. He's had answers for everything Chappie's thrown at him.
$15 Not.
That's a great shot.
Worse than. Sorry, Chappers?
First take, was it?
Yep, worse than 2.
Even though he had a play on it too, his mind was, he
15
was trying
all.
to get across that forehand, so
Yep.
he's not as balanced as he would be. Looks
Yep.
like it's an easy ball, but
Yep. That's where we were talking about this the other day.
Gallery.
Someone, I can't remember who said it. Maybe Paul Tabley used to say it. He said, "You're looking, but you're not seeing." Right. So I look there. Kieran is looking at the ball and the returner, but he's not seeing what's coming. Right. He's just assuming.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, I hit this, and you're going to hit it cross court. So he's looking at you, and watching you hit it, but he's still not seeing what's coming early enough. And so he needs to do a better job of watching Chris and where his
15 all.
racket is,
First chase is
rather
worse
than
than
just
2.
playing the assumption.
Yep.
And it's very, very difficult to do, right, when these guys that hold the ball. Oh, wow.
That was the best retreat of the match, I reckon. That was
Kieran, you got to just give the guys a point when
Yeah.
they do something like that.
First gallery. Fault.
Finish. Good finish.
40-15.
How many bulk variations of railroad do you reckon you have?
Worse than 1.
God, I don't know. Unlimited?
40-15,
Yeah.
1 chase.
It's interesting. I got asked that the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, fast thin, slow thin.
Yeah, there's so
fast
many.
wide, slow wide.
There's so many different
high,
options.
yeah.
Then there's the angle, right? Like the biggest thing I think for us lefties is our ability to change between a top spin, side spin, undercut, around, above, right? Like you'd create these different variations, and then within that you have hard, slow, sidewall, short, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, nick, hard, and so there's an unlimited.
Receiver
well, not
leads
unlimited, I'm sure there's
40-15.
but
Chase
it's
is
a lot.
worse than 1.
Especially when I toss the ball and close my eyes and just
Hope.
yeah. If I don't know, you don't know.
No, fell 3. 30-40.
Your preferred one's almost an undercut as much as a rounded, isn't it?
It's a yeah, kind of. It's a yeah. Depends on the court. Great pickup. Oh, Chappie.
My favourite railroad here, I can't do
Juice.
singles anymore because it's throw it behind your head, thin,
Happy with that ball,
right.
Chappie?
Yep.
2 bounce. Doesn't really come off the penthouse much anymore.
Yep.
But
It
the
Yeah, I can
you've
see
got to
that
get
here.
Across to your back end.
Yes, you're very much on top of the
So-
penthouse there.
So
I like
Score
that
is
one.
Useful
juice,
serving doubles.
no
It is.
chases. No, not up. Worse than 1.
It's a good example of holding it.
Yeah.
Juice,
He
1
always
chase.
Did that so well coming from squash.
Fault.
In my very quick game against Ollie a few months ago that I referred to, I did have him head in the wrong direction several times, and
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
it's, until he turns around, takes 2 steps the wrong way, and then still gets it.
Not up again.
Horrible bounce.
4
there.
yards.
I think that's the big difference. Like we talked about how, or I said Kieran's railroad works well on flat penthouses, right?
Mm.
I think for righties, it's very hard to have multiple railroads, right? So
The differences are less subtle, aren't
yes,
they?
and they either work on some courts or they don't, right?
Yeah.
If you have more of a top spin or you have more of an undercut, right? Like they have kind of 2 options, and they pitch it short or deep. And so you'll see the guys travel, and they really struggle to find the railroad on the court because it's such a massive transition between the 2 swings. Whereas for the lefties, I do think the big advantage
Juice.
is
Throw it
that
in a
First
different
chase
spot.
is
we can
worse
figure out
than 1.
how to hit a railroad on any court pretty
Yeah.
easily if we really want to.
Contrast that with a righty returning a volley.
Yes.
Their hitting zone is so much bigger that if they're not reading it particularly well, they still can just throw their racket at the ball
Receiver.
and get something, whereas
Second
throwing
chase
at it with
is
your
4
backhand,
yards.
if you misread the ball a bit, you're in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, we just saw that there with Kieran, right? Great force on that chase.
Won the chase and the game. 4 games to 2.
That's big.
Stranglehold on this match, I reckon.
That is big. He's just kept the pressure on Chappie here.
15 love.
So, Cam, I reckon that ball off the penthouse, you'd have stepped in and volleyed that, smacked it at the base of the tambo?
Maybe, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Maybe that's me.
Oh, very good.
15 all.
Starting to see the points get a bit more skewed here, too. Points for
30-15. Ball up.
Yeah, Rob started, he was the first guy who started turning on that. So, missed main wall, and he would turn inside on that forehand. And it actually, the first time he did it, I was like, I don't know why people never did that before.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a very easy ball to turn on. And now you see a lot of righties doing that.
The last gallery. First chase. 30-15. And better than the second gallery.
I know you wouldn't have seen...
2 chases.
We're both too young to have seen Howard Angus play, certainly in his pomp. But was Steve the first lefty to really turn spinning on the ball consistently?
Yeah, I've talked to Howard about it.
Yeah.
And he said it just never crossed his mind.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a thing. And he was like, God, why didn't I?
Yeah.
And now, if he could go back, he was like, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah.
The entire time, just never.
Well, I actually find that it probably wins us more points than the actual ones.
So the
we
leads
spin on, just 'cause people are
30-15.
paranoid about
First
letting them
chase
do
is
it.
the
yeah,
last
so
gallery.
I serve the railroads all day just to stop them doing that.
100%. Yes.
So you agree this game's a lot easier for left-handers?
No, I don't agree with that.
40-15. Better than the second gallery.
Really? 80% of the rallies are our backhand. Maybe not 80.
And game. 5 games to 2.
Trouble here for Chapman.
Yeah.
Kieran's looking very, very solid all of a sudden.
One thing about Kieran is, he's not going to fall into a hole
15
from
love.
here. He's very good at closing matches.
Yes, yes.
$30 love. $40 love.
Yep, 3 match points. Spot in the semifinals.
$15.40.
Super effort from Chappie in this match, I've got to say.
Yes, I think he still can strike the ball just as well as anybody.
30-40.
Not that there was any doubt, but you'd have to say, based on today, that his sort of semi-retirement has been around life and other priorities. Not, he still looks perfectly capable.
Oh yes.
Game,
There it
set,
is.
and match.
Great effort, great match. It's great to see these guys back on the board. Like you say, I think I don't think anybody ever doubted Chris's ability, and we all make our choices. I've chatted with him a lot. I agree. I very, very much am in the same boat with his reasoning behind not wanting to travel as much, prioritize family. And,
yeah, absolutely.
I think no one will knock him for that, but it's great that he still comes out and plays in these tournaments. And same with Kieran. They're in different life situations now. They have families. They're a little bit older and different priorities, but they still come out and hit the ball just as well as anybody in the world. So well done to Kieran. Another Australian Open semi-final. He'll take on Ben Taylor Matthews on Sunday. Should be a great match.
What's your prediction about that?
Oh man, I don't know. I know that obviously Kieran
be careful,
won.
you might be playing him.
Kieran won last time they played, but that was in Melbourne. I think that was first round Australian Open.
Yep.
And so I think
get the jump on somebody there.
Yeah, I think Ben's a little bit different player now. So I'd like to think that he will make more of that opportunity.
I haven't seen much of him play.
I think he's playing some of the best tennis of his life, to be honest. He's training up for the Olymps. He's in the best shape he's been in, I think I've ever seen. Seems like a decent headspace, and so I think I said in my interview before this tournament, I think it's his to lose in terms of making the finals and giving the title a shot. And he's looked pretty good this week.
The little bit I've seen of him, he strikes me as a really quiet player physically. Mm-hmm. I don't mean in terms of what he says on the court, just the way he addresses the ball.
Yes.
Very minimalist.
Yes.
Looks like the sort of player that could play for 7 hours.
Yes.
Because
very compact, very good mover, very eloquent swings and things like that. But kind of has all the shots and all the pieces. So it'll be a great battle. It'll be a big contradiction in styles there between he and Kieran. And so you never told me you're on our way out here. But who are you picking in this next one? Who do we have? We have Ollie Pridmore, the local junior amateur, who's super fast and flexible, against the GOAT, Rob Fay.
I think Rob will still have him covered, but I say that, but gee, there's a big future for Ollie in the game.
I agree.
He's a super talent.
I agree. I think Rob still has it if he wants to. And I think that's the big question mark. Does he want to? It's got to be a lot of effort to get out there. And I think the biggest thing is just that Ollie has that mindset of competitive, wants to win, gives his all every point. Very Australian mentality. Nothing to lose. And I think he'll annoy Rob for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great match.
He just gets balls back.
Gets so much back.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be at 5 o'clock. Until then, we wish you well. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
I say that in an office.